Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Siobhan from To Kitty and Beyond. Today we're going to be doing a Divine Masculine reading. This is going to be the energy for the week of the 11th to the 18th, but this can be any time that you're watching it. If you feel called to watch this video and it resonates with you, then the energies are for that time as well, because time is an illusion and it shifts. The energy will remain constant, or it'll be for you at that time. Okay, so what I want to do is see what's going on with Divine Masculine, what's going on with the things that he's healing right now, what's going on in his mental space, his heart space, and how he's feeling about the union or the connection with his twin flame, his Divine Feminine. And I also wanted to bring to attention, there's a lot of videos coming out right now about the event. And this reading will be from the 11th to the 18th, and the 18th is like a kind of a soft date that everyone's kind of saying this event is going to take place. Now, I just want to clarify some things. I've gone and watched a couple of different videos. I've watched a couple of different channeling sessions. I've been hearing about this event for a really long time, and I've consulted my higher self, my inner self, my intuition, and come up with something that I would like to share with you guys, is that this event is not an external event. This event is an internal event. So there's something called the 100th monkey effect, which I learned in my first year of psychology, and I love it because it's obviously about collective consciousness. And what the 100th monkey effect is that when they were dropping yams or sweet potatoes onto an island of monkeys, and the sweet potatoes would get all covered in sand, and the monkeys would eat them with the sand on it, and it was all gritty and bad for their teeth. And so one monkey finally realized, well, I can wash this in the water and then eat it, and it's going to be a lot better to eat. And so other monkeys began producing the same behavior because they would see this other monkey doing it and they would copy. Now, what they found happening, though, is that once about 100 monkeys, and this is kind of give or take, it's not 100 and that's the end of it. It depends on the amount of collective consciousness, and we're not going to go too in depth into that, but just to keep it simple for you guys, after about the 100th monkey, the researchers started to see the same behavior occurring on an island that was completely separate from this island, and those monkeys were performing the same behavior. So what this means, and you can go into deeper detail with this, they've done studies where they did crossword puzzles. They had people do crossword puzzles or crossword puzzles in the morning versus at night when more people had done them, and it's easier to do them at night. You're more likely to get the answers at night because the answers have already gone up into the collective consciousness. So what this is saying for the event, how this all connects to the event and the collective ascension, is that more and more people are awakening. And as this happens, that knowledge gets disseminated through our consciousness into the collective consciousness. Therefore, what is happening is that by us awakening as individuals, we're putting it out into the collective for everyone else who has not awakened yet. And therefore, this event is going to be an en masse awakening, and it's not going to be all at once. It's not going to be an event. It's a process. It should be called the process, but it's the beginning stages and the very crucial stages of that process. So this is that 100th monkey effect coming into effect. We should call it the effect, not the event. Coming up all these different names for it. But essentially, humanity is beginning to awaken as a whole. The collective consciousness is beginning to rise and come into a higher knowledge of self and a higher knowledge of all that is. So that's really beautiful. And I feel as though the Divine Feminines, we've sort of led the way. A lot of masculines are now beginning to wake up. So let's go into the Divine Masculine and see what's going on with them. Because a lot of them are awakening now to a deeper level than they had before. So I haven't used this deck in a while on here because this is one of my favorite decks and my travel deck. So I always take it with me wherever I go. It's always in my purse. But I felt called to take it out last night and to use this lapis lazuli, which I keep with it, which is a very powerful third eye stone, chakra stone for the crown, third eye, and throat, because it's got some blue in there as well, but it's mostly purple. To me anyway, I'm a little bit colorblind. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But it called to come out to me last night, and I was feeling as though there was some communication from the Divine Masculine coming in, but it wasn't 3D communication. It wasn't texts. It wasn't a Snapchat. It wasn't an Instagram, whatever, DM, nothing like that. It was 5D communication. So I was feeling this communication come in as like a buzzing in my ears, and sort of a message. Okay, so I was watching a movie last night, and this message came in. I'm sorry that this intro is going to be so long. If somebody likes to timestamp, I would appreciate that, because I'm not good at it. I'll try. But I was watching this movie last night, Sisters, with Amy, what's her name? Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. And there was one point, and it was like, you've got to stop needing to fix people. At some point, you've got to let somebody come in and help you. And I feel like as divine feminines, we have this mother archetype, this healer archetype, this need to fix whoever we're with. If that applies to you and that resonates with you, then this message is for you, because it's about feeling as though our job is to go out there and fix everybody else, when really in reality, we need to be focusing on ourselves. We need to be focusing on healing our blockages and our core wounds and our past life issues and our past this life issues. So, because that will bring about a more divine union. Then we won't be going and searching for all of these broken guys who need fixing. We'll be searching for whole men, because divine masculines, because that's what we'll be. We'll be that divine feminine. And it's also about that message was saying that as divine masculines, they really want to feel powerful. They want to feel heroic. They want to feel like the savior. And if the divine feminine comes in and sort of takes on that role, it's taking their power away from them. And I feel as though we've tried so hard to be strong, independent females, you know what I mean? Like this whole feminist movement and everything about like equality, and we can be as strong as men. And yes, that's true. But we have to keep in mind that we have different strengths than they do. So if we try and stand in the strengths that are specifically masculine, we're taking that power away from them. So our strengths lie in sensitivity and connection and receptivity and communion with the divine and inner knowledge and wisdom and groundedness and all of these things, but also being able to go up really high into the ethers and pull down that communication from source. So the masculine, by taking away the masculine's ability to ride in on his white knight as the white knight, we're kind of, yeah, we're disempowering him, and he's struggling right now to get empowered on his own. So I'm not saying that you need to be the damsel in distress, because you're a strong, independent woman and you don't need to be saved. But it's just about pulling back a little bit and letting them figure it out for themselves and letting them heal themselves, and then come to you when they're ready, and come to you from that masculine, divine masculine self, and meet you as the divine feminine. So we don't have to go out and fix anybody. We just have to focus on ourselves and our own journey. So anyway, this is divine masculine reading. It's not about, but I know that most of the viewers are feminines. So if you're a masculine, comment, say hey, because I feel like the statistics are very feminine leaning. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we're going to go headspace, heart space, blockages, and the union. Headspace, heart space, blockages, union. That's for me. You know, that's because I try to. So headspace, heart space. Oh, quartz. There you go. Headspace, heart space, blockages, union. Okay. So in this deck, I do read reversals, and I read them depending on what I'm feeling. So headspace. We got the Seven of Cups, which is about confusion, which is about options, choices, trying to make the best possible decision, but not knowing what that is, because all of these options kind of look good, you know, like which one's the right one. And therefore, a lot of times, this card can also indicate procrastination. So putting off making a decision because it's difficult, because you don't know what the right course of action is, and not feeling guided to choose one specific one that you're being led to. It's not trusting your intuition, it's not trusting your higher guidance, and kind of looking at all of these things and just panicking. Like, I don't know what to choose, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to sit here and do nothing. And the Queen of Pentacles came up clarifying that. And so the Queen of Pentacles could be the Divine Feminine. In my perspective, the Empress, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Pentacles represent the Divine, or can represent the Divine Feminine. And this representation of the Divine Feminine is her in her earthly sense, her in the physical realm, not her higher self, not her Divine Feminine self, more like her physical self, like you know, you as who you are in this avatar, in this life. And so he could be having difficulty making a decision about the Divine Feminine, or whether to move towards her, what he's trying to decide about his karmic, what he's trying to decide about his life, what he's trying to decide about anything in relation to the Divine Feminine. And also the Pentacles are an earthly, can represent money, can represent foundations and abundance. And so he's trying to make a decision about how he's going to, I feel like, especially with the peacock, I feel like he's trying to make a decision on how he's going to impress the Divine Feminine, or on how he's going to display himself so that he'll be sort of a worthy mate. And so this is about him healing himself. Again, he needs to make these decisions. He needs to make these choices on his own. We can't go in and try and influence him. He needs to figure this out on his own. Even though the Divine Feminine is coming up to clarify that, like, you could interpret it as we need to help him, but I'm not feeling that at all. I'm feeling that he's making this decision about this, and not that we need to influence this. It's because it's this, then this. Okay, so then we got the Ten of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, both in reversed position. So the Ten of Pentacles is that completion, that gift from the universe, this abundance. Look at this treasure chest of wealth, and it's in reverse. So he's feeling like he doesn't have enough. He's feeling like he needs to get more. He's amassing all of this wealth, but I feel as though this feeling of lack, because it's coming up in the reverse, this feeling of lack for him stems from worthiness issues. It stems from him not feeling good enough. And this can stem from childhood. This can stem from past lives. So the reason why he's not coming forward, he's not taking decisive action, is because he doesn't feel like he's ready, and he doesn't feel like he's good enough. And the cards are saying, like, yes, he does have enough. He's got what he needs to move forward. But the Knight of Pentacles, first of all, in the upright position, he came up in reverse, but I just want to tell you the upright position first. The upright position is him being slow moving and guarded. And I mean, like, look at this knight. He's not moving at all. And he's got his shield up, and he's got his armor all on. You know, he's fully suited up. Suit up. Legendary. Sorry. So he's not moving at all. And then when it comes in reverse, he's completely not moving. Like, he's not doing any kind of movement at all. He's stuck exactly where he is, and he's being, I don't want to say stubborn, but I want to say that he's just not seeing, he's not seeing a way to move forward. And so he's kind of digging in his heels and focusing so much on the physical, because this is all pentacles, a lot of it's pentacles coming up. So he's trying to make a decision about the heart, but he's thinking so much about these pentacles, about his money. He's thinking so much about the 3D realm, about, like, this could be about where he's going to live, what his job is going to be, or what's going on in his career. And that's affecting the union. So this was the headspace. So this is in the heart space. So he's feeling unstable in his resources in the heart space. Like, he's feeling like he doesn't have enough to give, and so he's not giving it. Because how can you give love if you feel like you don't have enough love to give? How can you give money if you feel like you don't have enough money to give? You know, you're not going to go and give your last $5 to somebody if that's all you have. You know what I'm saying? So he's got to work through this his own issues of self-worth and abundance, because these are issues that have recurred for him in a lot of the readings that we've seen, and I feel as though he is working on them, even though there's no movement here. I feel like he is working on them just very, very slowly. It's at his own pace, and it's not our place to judge him on what that pace is, because the pace is set by the divine. So we've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse as well. So he's kind of regressed from the Knight of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles. And there's that peacock again. He's not ready to show his plumage. Like, it's there, but he's not, you know, fanning it out like you see when a peacock really opens its feathers and parades around. He's not feeling confident. He's not feeling, because this came up in reverse, he's not feeling confident about himself. He's not feeling secure in his finances, even though he is. There's so many pentacles here. He is financially abundant. And that's what for feminines, we may not understand why he feels like this, because we're seeing him in all of his wealth and abundance, and we're seeing him being financially successful and successful in the 3D realm. But the cards are saying that he's not feeling as though he is, and that's because he's stuck in that unworthiness. He's in his heart space. He's stuck in feeling like he's not good enough. And of course, no matter what you have in your life, if you don't feel good on the inside, nothing external is going to make you feel good. And we've heard this from so many different famous wealthy people. They always say, you know, if you aren't happy, no amount of wealth and fame and Ferraris is going to make you feel happy. You have to find that happiness within yourself. And so this is coming up in the blockages, or things to work on, and he's needing to work on his confidence, his self-worth, his feelings of abundance within himself, and his feelings of self-love. I feel like this is like a huge factor, because, and the Eight of Cups came up in the reverse. So the Eight of Cups is about walking away from something that's no longer emotionally fulfilling. You know, he's tasted a few of the cups, and he's like, that was all right, but I think that there's more. I'm feeling as though there's more, and I don't know how I know this, but I know this, and I need to go looking for it, because there's this little mole. Oh, on the other side, there's this little mole down here, and moles are blind. They feel their way. They sense their way. They exist in the dark, but their other senses are so heightened that they are able to navigate. And so it came up in the reverse, though. So it's saying that maybe he has walked away from something already, or he needs to walk away from something. He needs to walk away from something that's not fulfilling him anymore, whether that be habits, ways of thinking, this unworthiness way of thinking, this what's the word I'm looking for? Not deprivation, depletion. Like, he's having these self-degrading, there we go, self-degrading thoughts. Thank you. I knew it was a D word. And he's needing to walk away from that self unfulfillment, that feeling of not being enough, not having enough, and because that's all he's finding in his external world, because he's feeling that way inside. And it's asking him to trust his intuition. It's asking him to illuminate this with his inner knowing, because he's looking towards the moon, and you've got that little mole there signifying that you need to trust not your vision, not your external world. You need to trust your internal world, which is your intuition. The moon, you're not using your physical eyes, you're using your third eye, which is blind, but it sees more than the eyes can see. So that was in the blockages. And then in the union, we've got the Two of Pentacles, and this came up in reverse. So again, another reverse card of Pentacles. And so it seems like almost all of the pentacle cards are in reverse. Actually, this one is like that. Yeah, so almost all of the pentacle cards are in reverse. The only one that's not reversed is the Queen of Pentacles, which is the Divine Feminine. So she's the only one that's upright, because he's looking at his divine feminine as, she's stable, she's secure, she's financially abundant and confident in herself and fulfilled. And so this may be making him feel even more that he's not, but I feel as though that's actually a good thing, because he needs to become aware of this pattern that he's got within himself. He needs to become aware of his self-worth issues and his and what's going on internally. And so the divine feminine may be triggering that. And triggers are good things because they're catalyst for change. So when triggers come up in your life, don't abhor them, don't resist them, don't reject them, embrace them, thank them, because they're trying to teach you something. They're trying to catalyze you for change. They're messages from the divine. They're messages from your higher self, from the angels, from your guides. So trust them. And work with that. Work with the catalyst. Work with the triggers. Work with whatever's making you feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? So anyway, the Two of Pentacles coming up in reverse is about feeling imbalanced, like he's not being able to juggle his finances and his inner self and his whatever he's got going on in his life right now. He's feeling like he's not able to balance it in a healthy way, and he's feeling really overwhelmed with all of what's going on. And so this coming up in the union headspace, or the union energies, is that he's feeling as though there's an imbalance there. Like he's not able to give, he's not able to receive. There's this imbalance within the union. And then we got the Seven of Wands in the upright position. And the Seven of Wands is about defending. He's defending that doorway. It's beginning to open, but he's not ready for the divine feminine to come through, because in his heart space, in the 5D space rather, not so much the heart space, but in the 5D heart space, that's what they're wanting me to say. In the 5D heart space, the door is opening. The door to unconditional love and communication and union is opening. However, in the 3D realm, he's still feeling defensive. And so we kind of need to back off and let him deal with these things on his own. He needs to be his own savior. He needs to be his own knight in shining armor, so that he's ready and confident enough to come and be that for us and come to us from that wholeness. Because we've got the knight here. He wants to move forward. We've got the peacocks and all of these representations of the pentacles, in that he wants